everyone here again, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play loml off of the Tortured Poets Department album on the guitar. So here's a quick overview of everything I'll be covering in this tutorial today, and with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so you only need to know 5 different chord shapes to play through this song, and we're going to start with our C major, which looks like this and sounds like this. And by the way, if you don't know how to read these chord charts you're seeing on screen, I do cover how to do that in my free beginner series right here on YouTube, so make sure to check that out right here. The next chord shape is our A minor 7. From here we have our G add 4. We also have our F over C. And then the last chord shape is our D minor. And those are the only 5 chords you need to know to play through this song. Alright guys, so go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really memorize these chord shapes, as well as practice transitioning back and forth between them, because it'll make learning the rest of the song so much easier for you. And if this is a skill you're currently struggling with, I do have a Practice With Me chord transition series on my other channel, Forever Faithful, so I'll make sure to link that in the corner for those of you who need it. But once you have these chords under your belt, then we can go ahead and talk about the strumming pattern that I would recommend for this song. Alright guys, so as I always say, if you are brand new to playing guitar, or you're somebody who struggles with playing guitar while singing at the same time, the first thing I was just doing is to bring up the song and go ahead and go through the entire thing with just a single down strum on every chord change as you sing through the song. And you want to take this time to really get used to what word or what syllable you're on whenever those chords are changing. So here's a quick example of what that would look like. Who's gonna stop us from waltzing back into rekindled flames if we know the steps anyway? Alright, so that's just a really quick example, but you would essentially want to do that for the entire song and just really make sure you know where those chords are going to be changing. And this is actually something you do right now if you check out my Patreon page. I do have this entire guide available to download and print out, so I'll make sure to leave that link in the description box if you're interested. But once you come back, we can go ahead and add to this to do more of a full strumming pattern that you can use for this song. Alright guys, so for strumming for this song, I wanted to keep it pretty simple because I do actually prefer more of a picking pattern to match the piano. But if you are somebody who wants to strum this song, we can just easily apply this down, down, up pattern that Taylor uses a lot when she performs live. So we're going to count this in an 8th note count. It's going to sound like this. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, down, up, down. All right, super simple pattern. It should be familiar to you if you've watched any of my other tutorials. We do use this a lot. We're going to apply this pattern 1 time through per chord, but some of these chords are going to be repeated for 2 measures. So in that case, you would do this pattern twice for those chords, but I'll have all of that listed on the guide that I have on my Patreon page. But let's go ahead and take a look at that first verse. We're starting here on our C chord. You would apply this once, so we have down, down, up, down, up, to your A minor 7, down, down, up, down, up, to your G add 4, and G is twice. Alright, super simple, and you could use this strumming pattern for the entire song. So let's go ahead and go through some examples. We've got C, A minor 7, G add 4, for the verses, we are going to, from here, go into the next set of chords. So we have our F over C. I don't mind, it takes time. I thought I was better safe than starry-eyed. I felt it go like this. Never before, never since. Alright? And like I said, this strumming pattern can be used for the entire song, so let's go ahead and take a look at one of the choruses. It's going to be played exactly the same as the verse. You know it in one place, it's legendary. You and I go from one kiss to getting married, still And again, just like with the second half of the verse, the second half of the chorus introduces that F over C chord. In your suit and tie, nick of time, low down boy, stand up guy, Holy Ghost, you told me I'm the love of your life, said I'm the love of your life, all right? And the only other place that's a little bit different is going to be that bridge. This is where we're going to have our D minor chord shape for the first time. So let's go ahead and take a look at that bridge. The strumming pattern again is going to be applied exactly the same. So we've got down, down, up, down, up to C, to F over C, to G add 4. And then when you get to the outro, it goes back to those same chords with the same strumming that we've been practicing. So yeah, that is the strumming that I would recommend for this song. But like I said, I actually prefer a picking pattern, and it's not actually that hard to do. So let's go ahead and talk about the picking for this song. All right, guys, so again, go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really get this strumming rhythm under your belt. This is a pattern that is super universal, and Taylor herself uses it a lot in her live performances. So it's a really great idea to make sure you get that under your belt. If you need help with building up the speed of this strumming pattern, I do have a practice with me strumming series as well, so I'll link that in the corner if you need it. But once you get back, we can go ahead and talk about how to play this picking pattern that kind of mimics the piano. I think it sounds really pretty, so let's get into that next. All right, guys, so for this picking pattern, I want to show you the basic pattern first, and then we can build on that to make it sound a little closer to the piano. But before we get into this, let's go ahead and cover a few ground rules. For picking, I do like to number my strings, so the low E is 6, and it goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 all the way to the high or thinnest E string. So I will be referring to these strings as numbers for the rest of this picking section. And then for your left hand, you do want to just continue to hold these same chord shapes down that we've been playing throughout this song. So your left hand, nothing is changing there. And then on your right hand for picking, what I want you to do is we're going to have our pointer and our middle and our ring finger, they're going to stay here on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, and they're kind of going to live here throughout this picking pattern. And your thumb is what's going to change between either the 6th or the 5th string, depending on what chord we're playing, okay? So go ahead and let that sink in, and we'll go ahead and start breaking this down by chord. So let's start with our C chord, since that's the first chord in the song. The pattern for this is what you're going to do is pick your thumb first to cover that bass or root note. Then you're going to go down the guitar. So you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, and remember each of these strings has a different finger. So we have thumb, pointer, middle, ring. Okay, and then once you go back down, we're just going to kind of pick it up into the next measure with another 4, 3, 4. All right. So the whole thing is 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, 4, 3, 4. Okay? Thumb, pointer, middle, ring, hold, pointer, middle, pointer. And that's the whole pattern for every chord that we're going to play. So for C, we've got A minor 7, you just take off that ring finger, and the picking pattern on your right hand is still exactly the same. All right, so A minor 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and go over the F over C, because that's also going to be played exactly the same. So on our F over C chord on our left hand, your right hand's still exactly the same. 5, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so all three of those chords are going to be played the same. We've got C, A minor 7, and F over C. All right. For our G add 4, one thing is going to be different, which is our thumb. Now you want your thumb to move over to the 6th or lowest E string, because that's going to cover our G or our bass or root note. But the rest of the pattern's the same. So for G, we have 6, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so the only note that's different there is the first one. Now, these 4 chords are played almost exactly the same with the picking. When we get to our D minor for the bridge, that's the only part where you're gonna have to kind of shift strings a little with your right hand. So for D minor, what I want you to do is take all of our fingers and move them down a string. So now your pointer, middle, and ring are gonna be on the bottom 3, 2, and 1 strings. And then your thumb's gonna move here to this 4th D string, okay? But the pattern's still the same. We're gonna go thumb, pointer, middle, ring, pointer, middle, pointer. Okay, so your right hand should feel pretty much the same. We're just scooting all of our fingers down a string just for that D minor chord. So let's go ahead and go over and apply some of these patterns to the song. So taking a look at verse 1, we're starting here in our C, and basically instead of strumming, you just want to do the picking. So we have to A minor 7, to G add 4, twice for G add 4, okay? And that's going to be most of the song right there. Who's gonna stop us from waltzing back into rekindled flames? If we know the steps anyway, we embroidered the memories of the time I was away. Stitching, we were just kids, babe. All right? For the second half of the verse, we're going to do that F over C chord. Said, I don't mind, it takes time. I thought I was better safe than starry-eyed. I felt a glow like this, never before and never since. All right? When you get to the chorus, it's going to be played exactly the same with picking. Like I said, that D minor is the only thing that's going to be a little different, so let's go ahead and take a look at the bridge. All you have to remember is to move all your fingers down a string. Other than that, the picking should still feel pretty much the same. You shit-talked me under the table, talking rings and talking cradles. Wish I could unrecall how we almost had it all. Dancing phantoms on the terrace, are they secondhand embarrassed that I can't get out of bed? Something counterfeits dead. Okay? So one piece of advice for picking is if you're not used to this and this is the first time you've ever tried a picking pattern, it will take a lot of time to really get the coordination down of your right hand and knowing what string to pick at any given time. And also, like when you're trying to remember the picking and like the chord shapes and the singing, it can all be very overwhelming. So make sure to take it stepwise, one piece at a time. I would get used to, you know, picking the strings very slowly at first and then building that speed up. So that is the basic picking pattern that you can apply for this song. I think it sounds really pretty, but one thing you can do that's a little bit more on the intermediate side is we can add a hammer on, and that will make it sound like chef's kiss, exactly like the piano part that we hear. So let me go ahead and talk about how we can do that. Hey, really quick, in addition to the printable guide we've been looking at, did you know I also offer customizable backing tracks, polls for what songs you want to learn next, and even video chats if you're having trouble? You can unlock all these perks and more if you become a patron, which helps me grow my channel and make more videos just like this one. Or if Patreon's not your thing, you can still help me out a lot by giving me a thumbs up and leaving a comment below to help me reach more people in YouTube's recommendations. It only takes a second but makes a huge difference. So thanks so much, and let's get back into it. Alright guys, so for this little hammer-on embellishment for the picking, the basic picking is still going to be the same. So for our C chord, we still have 5, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. But what I want you to do is when you get to the 4th string with your pointer finger, when that's ringing, You can see here on your left hand, your pinky should be free, like it's not like fretting anything. So what you want to do is you want to take it and hammer it down right underneath your ring finger on the 3rd fret of that D string. You have to have a little bit of pinky strength to like, because like on my right hand, you should be able to hear this note without picking anything. So if you don't have enough pinky strength, just make sure to kind of build that up as well. But yeah, you would go 5, 4, and then as it's ringing, hammer on your pinky. And then that hammer on is gonna take the place of your middle finger on the 3rd string. So you would skip that and go straight to the 2nd string with your ring finger. All right, so we have 5, 4, hammer on, 2. Okay, but then to finish it out, you would go back to the regular pattern. Okay, so the whole thing is so that hammer on is just taking the place of that 3rd like beat. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing for the other chords as well. So for C, we have this. For A minor 7, same exact thing. You're taking your ring finger off and you're doing the same basic pattern, but we're gonna use our pinky to hammer onto that same note on the D string. Okay. And then same with the G add 4. When you get to this one, what I want you to do is leave your finger on the D string. And so instead of making your G add 4 chord where you move your ring and your middle finger, from your A minor 7, just move your ring finger up here to the 3rd fret of the E string, okay? But then the rest of it's the same. Your middle finger should still be on the 2nd fret D, and we're gonna use that as our bass, and then hammer with our pinky to the 3rd fret. So I know this is a lot of information, so if you're brand new to guitar, you know, maybe start with another song before you attempt this one. So for C, we have 5, 4, hammer, 2, 4, 3, 4. To A minor 7, 5, 4, hammer, 2, 4, 3, 4. Then to G add 4, remember, leave your middle finger down where it is. 6, 4, hammer, 2, 4, 3, 4. All right, so all together without stopping, it sounds like this. So what I like to do there is I will add this little like frilled embellishment kind of hammer-on pattern throughout any of those more piano instrumental versions whenever Taylor's not singing. And then whenever she comes in with singing, I'll just go back to the basic picking pattern. So that's what I like to do in my cover. But basically this is the picking / like little frilly tab that I think sounds really good with this song. All right guys, so again, one last time, go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really get this finger picking pattern under your belt. Like I said, if you want to do the little hammer on like frilly embellishment part, it can take a lot more practice, and you do have to build up that pinky strength. So if that's something that's not naturally really easy for you, don't worry, we've all been there. You just have to kind of practice it slowly and build up that strength over time. But once you have everything down, the chords, transitions, strumming, picking if you want to do it, then we can go ahead and put together everything we've learned in this tutorial to play through the song. 1, 2, ready, go. Who's gonna stop us from waltzing back into rekindled flames? If we know the steps anyway. Want to have fun jamming out to the rest of this song with me? So make sure to check out my Patreon page where you can unlock access to this as well as all my other Swiftie sing-along guitar tutorials. I covered so many of her songs from all the different eras, so if you are a Swiftie who loves to play her songs on the guitar, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I will link it in the description box down below. If you enjoyed learning this song with me, then you should definitely check out this video. Not only does it have a super similar vibe and feel, but it's just as fun and easy to play. So I'll see you over there. Bye!